afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for our 25th race of the season, chase race number 5, I believe. Yes, it is. Chase race number 5 of the season for the Pizza Hut X Series second season. Today, we will basically be setting up for Talladega Superspeedway in a few weeks to determine who is going to be the final 4 to battle for the championship for the Pizza Hut X Series at the season finale at Auto Club. We already know who one of those drivers will be, as last week at Oswego Raceway, J Gilbert picked up his 3rd win of the season, and more importantly, it was a win during the chase, which automatically locks him up a spot in the championship hunt final 4 at Auto Club. So now only 3 spots remain, and somebody that has a red banner on their machine could go to victory lane today and join J Gilbert, regardless of what happens in the upcoming week at Talladega. J Gilbert is the points that are coming to this race as well, obviously, with that win last week. Jesse Turner right now is in 2nd with Cole Deaver and Eli Bright, the top 4. So they are obviously looking for good runs today to keep that momentum up to, if necessary, get into the final 4 on points. At least one driver is going to get into the final 4 on points, because it's impossible for us to have 4 different race winners in only 3 races in this second round. J Qualls comes into this race 5th in points. Right now he is 3 points back from that 4th in the standings cut line. Colby Jackson, he is 6th in the points. He is a total of 11 points back. 19 points back. Actually, I think I said that wrong. Nope, 21 points back. Let's check that. Is J Shelly. He's 7th in points. And Charlie Buxton, who was the last driver here in the final 8. He
Drivers,
is a total of 24 points back
engines.
in 8th places. There's the command to fire him up. 15 laps of racing here today, and obviously stages are going to be a factor with the stage points. 5 laps of each of the stages. Completion of lap 5, completion of lap 10, and completion of lap 15. And somebody with an issue already on the start. That looked like the 62 of William Brock. I can try and shuffle my way back here through the field. Well, maybe not. Maybe Brock just didn't get going. No, they're not going to let him back up. What the heck? I'm not certain what's going on there. No, I guess there is something wrong with William Brock. Oh, he is way slow. Jesse Turner starting at the back there. One of the 8 chasers. There's another one, Cole Deaver. There's J Gilbert, comes into this race worry-free. Colby Jackson. There's J Shelly in the 16. Charlie Buxton in the 7, right behind him. This row here, the 2nd row, Eli Bright and J Qualls, the 2 highest chase drivers on the starting grid. Pichu London on the point. We saw yesterday a first-time winner in the Hershey Cup Series non-charter race with Alex Grego in the victory lane. Could Pichu London be looking at his first Pizza Hut X Series victory here today? S Gratton alongside of him, former winner this season at Bristol Dirt, looking for his 2nd win of the year. And as opposed to yesterday's Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race, cautions are on for today's race. So if a wreck happens, they will be allowed to bunch up. The difference being, this is a chase race. So therefore, to give everyone an equal opportunity if a wreck happens, give people an opportunity to come to pit road, get their cars repaired, try to get back into this thing. I'll tell you, I think they're going to have to do a lot of work on a decent setup or something for tomorrow's Hershey's Cup Series race, because if they race as nuts as they raced in yesterday's non-charter event, we are going to have a wreck fest. And there's another car in trouble on the apron. That's the 51 of Jordan Lopez coming to pit road. So both Jordan Lopez and William Brock will not, well, they'll make it to the green, but they'll be coming to pit road. So theoretically, only 40 cars are going to be up to speed coming to the green. As it's out here, it's in Joltis. Now, if you're a chase driver, what do? Do you work your way to the front here as soon as possible, or do you drop to the back and hope something happens and you miss the wreck? think you really want to drop to the back, though, because as I said, stage points are so important. So you want to be up inside the top 10. Get those stage points to help you to make it into that Final Four. As battle is on for second. Eli Bright to the inside of Stuart Gratton. This all going on behind Pichu London, but this is what Joltis is known for. Look at this. Oh, look out. Noah Pontzer on the apron. They're going to give him room, fortunately. But they are 5 wide, 6 wide here. That's Gilbert, Watson, Colby Jackson, Charlie Buxton in that group. Oh, they're making contact. That's Kyle Lynch and Noah Pontzer making contact. Chris Dollerton, instead of lifting, he's going to go to the apron to try and avoid that. Look at them darting left and right down this straightaway. Oh, Dollerton, don't do that. No contact with Matthew Daleo. Ooh, they all saved it, but they all wadded up there down on that yellow line. Dollerton and Daleo, Matt McIntire, and I think that was also Kyle Thomas in the 48. Meanwhile, slicing and dicing up in the front, Jacob Rose, along with John Gilbert and James Shelly. Actually, that's not even John Gilbert, that's Daniel Voyles. My bad. Thought I saw the 22 up here. As Shelly now moves into the 3rd position. He's now the highest running chaser. J Qualls not too far back in 7th. Eli Bright there in 8th. And Elijah Gilbert right now in 10th. And Shelly going to go now to the inside of Stuart Gratton for position. Jacob Rose knows how to get around super speedways. He finished 3rd to his teammate Christian Merrick Jr. back at Talladega. With this 3 wide. Look at Daniel Voyles by his lonesome getting that nice run on the high side. He's going to make it 3 wide. Jacob Rose tries to make it 4 wide. Not going to be able to do it. He's got 2 tires down there on the apron. So a couple other drivers back there with a couple tires down the apron. I don't see how you can make the corner with a lot of speed when you've got 2 tires up on the racing surface that's banked and 2 tires down on a flat apron. Chris Dollerton, though, he's still down that apron. I think he's been on that apron every single lap. Oh, we've only run 2 laps. And Noah Pontzer, is he coming to pit road? No, he's not. Oh my goodness, what is he doing? Right in front of Eli Bright. What the heck was the 28 doing? You can't make a turn like that. Yeah, Joseph Romero almost looked like he was going to wreck it in that 42 car. Oh, this is a bad spot on the track right now. There's a lot of chasers in this group. Deaver there, along with Eli Bright, Colby Jackson, and Jesse Turner. This is nervous city at the moment. Look at Eli Bright, Colby Jackson, Jesse Turner, all chasers trying to work together to get out of this mess. Can't say I blame them. Daleo now down in the apron. Meanwhile, we'll move back towards the front. James Shelly's been left out to dry. We've got a couple of cars here that are on the tail end of the lead lap. Michael Haas and Kyle Lynch. I think, or are they up there? Are they the race leaders? They're the race leaders. Michael Haas just took the race lead, apparently. Kyle Lynch followed him. And now they're 1-2. Well, how about that? They got by Pichu London. And those 2 cars we saw come to pit road and became take green, they were both out of the race. Engine problem for Jordan Lopez and a suspension issue, apparently, for William Brock. Also, we've got a car a lap down. That's the 88 of Ryan Blower. There he is. So, unscheduled stop for him as well. Top 2 out in front. Pichu London showed the way for the first 2 laps, but now he's fallen back to 3rd with Jacob Rose and James Shelly right there in 5th place. He's got Daniel Voyles right behind him. And we saw Chris Dollerton using that apron quite a bit here in the first stages. Well, it seems to have worked for him because he right now is up in the 8th position just behind the 87 of Julio Cesar. Elijah Gilbert up there. I mean, he's got nothing to lose here today. He's locked into the Final Four whatever happens today. So he's up in 9th with Stuart Gratton in 10th, and not too far behind him, we got that 27 car. James Qualls came in only 3 points behind that cut line of 4th in the standings. Just outside of the top 10. You bet he's trying to fight his way up here into the top 10 so he can get some stage points, but he's got to catch up and pass the 11 of Stuart Gratton, who right now is in the 10th position. And next time by is the completion of our first stage. Whoa! A little contact there between Jacob Rose and Chris Dollerton. Rose nearly went for an unceremonious slide, but keeps it straight. And How about these two? Michael Haas and Kyle Lynch working together, and while they're racing for third, they're not being able to catch up to these top two drivers. These are two drivers as well that are really, really struggling in the point stands. It has not been a good year for either of these machines, or either of these teams rather. Michael Haas coming into this race is currently situated 42nd in the point standings, and that's the lowest of any driver that has started every race this season. Kyle Lynch, of course, started the season out winning the season opener at Daytona, but then fell so far down the standings that win didn't even count towards a spot in the chase, and he comes into this race 32nd in points. So both of these drivers really could use a good run like they're having right now, and Michael Haas, for the first time in his career, has won a stage in the P Minnick series. With other chasers that are going to get some stage points. Elijah Gilbert, though they really aren't going to matter for him, and J Shelly there in 9th. Shelly's dropping back a bit. Kind of been ganging up on him. Here come some teammates at the bottom of the racetrack there. N Pontzer, who we saw nearly wrecked a few laps ago, along with Nick Johnson, the 44. A Baranauskas there in the 2, and of course Benny Watson in the 8. I was kind of wondering if we were going to see Watson and Buxton anywhere near each other here today, because while Watson wants to win the race, I think he's got a little bit of revenge on his mind. He was none too happy about the move that Charlie Buxton pulled last week at Oswego, where he kind of made himself a factor into the outcome of that race. And in all honesty, Charlie Buxton really didn't do himself any favors either, because what he did was he allowed a chase driver to win in Elijah Gilbert rather than a non-chase driver in Benny Watson. And with that being said, Charlie Buxton limited his chance of getting into the Final Four, because now he's got to get one of 3 spots rather than one of 4 spots available in the Final Four at Auto Club. I've been looking to see if the gap closes up at all between 2nd and 3rd, and it really hasn't. Now they're seeming to settle out just the least little bit, with Dollerton, Voyles, Cesar, Gilbert. Maybe, just maybe, they can start making some headway, because there's no doubt about it. It's a super speedway, so 5, 6, 7 cars are going to put a lot more speed down than 2 cars, but those 2 cars have remained nose to tail. The drivers behind them in a pack have all been racing each other hard, so maybe now if they start getting into a single file formation, they'll start making up ground, and if they do stay single file, they're going to make up ground very, very quickly. You just all got to stay in a single line. Peachy London stepping out of line there. That might cost him. Oh, and Julio Cesar steps out. Well, Voyles seems committed to the back bumper of Chris Dollerton nonetheless. Last time by, it was about 2.9 second separation between them and the top 2. Let's see what it is this time by. Did they close the gap up at all? No, they actually lost some. They lost another 0.2. So I don't know what it is that Michael Haas and Kyle Lynch have going for them, but it is working. They are probably going to have to pit before we end up getting to the checkered flag, I would think. They had to pit with about, I think it was about 5 to 4 laps to go in the Hershey's Cup Series non-charter race here yesterday, and that was 3 laps less than what today's scheduled distance is. So maybe, just maybe, the pit stops will shuffle things up. Question of when it's going to happen, though. Right now, Elijah Gilbert, who's already locked into the Final Four, is the only chaser that is currently up inside the top 10. James Shelly has now dropped back to 12th. 15th place right now is J Qualls. 17th is Jesse Turner. They seem to be the only ones up here right at the moment, even with a remote shot. And then back here, you got Cole Deaver, Colby Jackson, Eli Bright still all together. They have not been able to share themselves with this group. Oh, there he is, Charlie Buxton in the 7. Right now is the last chaser, and he is running right now in 28th. This is not good for Buxton, who came into this race 8th of the 8 chase drivers. He and maybe Eli Bright and Cole Deaver might all be, Colby Jackson, they might all be thinking about maybe some pit strategy here. M McIntire, A Garcia, they're a long ways back. along with Carson Gum. They've all lost the draft. Alexander Rowe, Paul Minnick, P.J. Williams, Nicholas Romero, James Richardson way back here. There's the lap car of Ryan Brommer. Ralph Mason's lost the draft. Christian Merrick Jr. way back here in the 20, and his teammate out in front may be catching him pretty shortly. 39 cars still on the lead lap of 40 cars that are running. 2 cars officially out of the race. And here we go. Pit stops are going to happen. And how interesting is this? Because lap 10 just went on the board. Next time around, when they cross the line, it is the end of the second stage, and Kyle Thomas is going to stay out to try and get those 10 valuable bonus points. Noah Pontzer stays out with him. Another car staying out. J Qualls staying out along with Jesse Turner. This is smart. This is really smart on these two guys' part. Why not? You'll cross the line in 3rd and 4th for the completion of the second stage. Get yourself some bonus points. Look at this. Cole Deaver and Colby Jackson, a couple more chasers doing the same thing. So you can see here, these drivers realizing the importance of these stage points. 4 chasers have stayed out. So 6 drivers total will be having to come to pit road next time, but they will reap the rewards with saving a little bit here of crossing the line in 1st through 6th in the completion of our second stage. 4 of them are chase drivers. And more than likely they're all going to come to pit road this lap. But right there is the start-finish line. So they cross the line before they even come to pit lane. So Kyle Thomas will win the second stage. Noah Pontzer in 2nd. Turner got by Qualls, so he'll be 3rd. Qualls will be 4th. Deaver and Jackson, that is 5th and 6th. Michael Haas got off pit road 1st, so he'll more than likely cycle around in 7th at the completion of the second stage, with K Lynch in 8th. 9th, Daniel Voyles, and 10th, Chris Dollerton. And Dollerton going to try and get around Daniel Voyles here, which this is not exactly wise strategy. If he and the 26 work together, the 15 and the 19 are kind of separated. And they were working together. They were nose to tail before. They're separated. If these 2 work, or these 3, if you throw Nick Johnson into the mix as well, they work together, they will definitely catch them. Well, Dollerton's going to get around Daniel Voyles, though, so he will move into cycling into the 3rd position now. Now we're going to have to see if K Lynch cannot reel in Michael Haas to help offer drafting help again. These 2 may be sitting ducks in a single, and basically in single car runs, allowing these guys to catch them. Nick Johnson now going to get around both Chris Dollerton and Daniel Voyles. Right now, the entire top 5 is comprised of non-chase drivers, which means that if we have a non-chaser win today, that at least 2 of the final 4 slots will be determined via points at Talladega in a few weeks. Nick Johnson going to catch up here to Noah Pontzer. That's his teammate, and Pontzer, that is for position. Pontzer just leaving pit road. Oh my goodness, look at this. Kyle Thomas is now up in the mix for the race lead. He now slots in line between Michael Haas and K Lynch after deciding to stay out that extra lap, and he's going for the race lead. Kyle Thomas had a really good car at Oswego last week, but got caught up in a wreck. He also had a really good car at Indianapolis, and he is out in front showing the way here with about 4 laps to go. Working by the lap machine of Ryan Brommer. Michael Haas now into 2nd. Having a little bit of difficulty getting around him. Nick Johnson has now moved up into 3rd, and he might be looking for 2nd now on the 19. There you see Elijah Gilbert, Chris Dollerton, Noah Pontzer, and Daniel Voyles slotted in 5th through 8th. They're trying to catch up to this group. Now Nick Johnson into 2nd, sets his sights on the 48 of Kyle Thomas. Big run down the front straightaway. Will he get to the inside and one? Yes, he will. Ryan Brommer trying to get to pit road. Gotta slow that baby down, Ryan. Oh, he might want to slow it down a lot more. He's got to make pit road. There we go. Nice job. A lot of times drivers overdrive that and they will hit that pit wall at the entrance. There's a battle and an exchange for fourth. Elijah Gilbert getting by Kyle Lynch. And Nick Johnson has gone to the race lead. Oh yes, of course he has. So I called that. Whoops. Why am I surprised? He made the move down into turn one. I was more concentrated at the time on Ryan Brommer getting to pit road. The field very spread out right now here, but it's allowing them with this space that they've got to be able to get tremendous runs on each other. There you see Elijah Gilbert. He got by Kyle Lynch earlier for fourth place, and now he's got a big run on Michael Haas. He's going to go into the third slot. Don't count that 98 out. He's working the draft very well right at the moment. Chris Dollerton back there with Kyle Lynch. Dollerton, another driver that's been fighting his way forward since the green flag pit stop. There's 2 laps to go. Do Kyle Thomas or Elijah Gilbert have enough time to get up here and battle with Nick Johnson? Johnson, former winner last season when he went to victory lane at the road course of Tula. He was driving the number 42 car at the time. Looking for his second win of his Pizza Hut X Series career, first of the season. Nick Johnson coming into this race 41st in points. I mean, we were talking about Michael Haas and Kyle Lynch needing a good run. Same can be said for Nick Johnson. Watch out for that 98. He's got nothing to lose, and he's been doing a good job of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. He's been very good at utilizing, there's the word I was looking for, very good at utilizing the draft. And he's about to catch up to Kyle Thomas. We got a slower car up ahead. That is Christian Merrick Jr., and he might be a factor. White flag displayed for Nick Johnson one more time around Joltis Mega Speedway. And Kyle Thomas reel him in. Can Elijah Gilbert pass them both? Going to be these 3. Whoa! Little almost contact there as Christian Merrick Jr. trying to find out where the 44 wanted to go. Kyle Thomas having some difficulty as well, and that may cost him. Here comes Gilbert 3 wide. He'll move to second. So now Gilbert, with still that momentum, going to try and catch Nick Johnson before this race is over, but that gap may have been maybe too big for him to overcome. Nick Johnson may be in a good spot now with that help of Christian Merrick Jr., but Christian Merrick Jr. nearly wrecked him. Can Elijah Gilbert get enough of a run down these straightaways? Kyle Thomas slingshots to the inside for second. And if he gets alongside, that's going to be all she wrote. And he is alongside. So Nick Johnson will have no challenge coming out of the final corner. It'll be his second career win, first of the season. A struggling year finally has a silver lining. Nick Johnson will win here today at St. Joltis. What a great run there for that 44 car. And Nick Johnson, who came into this race 41st in the point standings, next to last lowest driver in the points of any driver to take all of the green flags here this season. And we told you, restrictor plate tracks tend to cater to the underdog or the driver that is struggling in need of a win. St. Joltis today did not disappoint in that regard. And I'll tell you what, our chase standings will look awfully interesting because only one chase driver finished this race in the top 10. You see him right there, the guy who's already locked into the Final Four battle at Auto Club, the 98 of Elijah Gilbert. So where did all the other chasers finish? That's going to be the interesting question. You know, a number of them stayed out on that completion of the second stage. Cole Deaver, Colby Jackson, Jesse Turner, and J Qualls. Those stage points there in the second stage might be the difference maker here today. standing should be official now as the field is exiting out of turn 4. So any driver that had to complete their final lap has done so. So we gave you the fact that Elijah Gilbert was the only chaser to finish in the top 10. Let's see where the rest of the chasers finished afterwards. And they included Cole Deaver in 13th. J Shelly finished in 16th place. Jesse Turner was 21st. Charlie Buxton in 22nd. Eli Bright back in 25th. Colby Jackson back in 26th place. And J Qualls, don't know what happened with him, but he went way back, finishing in the 34th position. We had 38 cars finish on the lead lap out of 40 cars running. Christian Merrick Jr., Ryan Brommer a lap down, and Jordan Lopez, William Brock. They made it to the green, but immediately came to pit road, and both finished this race out of the event due to mechanical problems. But I don't know. This is very interesting. The only driver that really had a good run today was Elijah Gilbert, with maybe the possible exception of Cole Deaver. But I would say, based on what everyone finished here today, that nobody, and I mean nobody, is safe heading into our elimination race at Talladega in a few weeks, with the exception, as stated, of Elijah Gilbert, who's already locked into that Final Four. So it's going to get very interesting, I think, when we go to Talladega. But Nick Johnson will pick up the win here today, first of the season for that team. Congrats to them. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race here from Zen Joltis. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have shown your full figure results, and these are your point stands. We will see you guys in about 3 weeks for our final elimination race, chase race number 5, or make that number 6 on the season, I should say, for the Pizza X Series at Talladega Superspeedway. Tomorrow, we cap off our Zen Joltis race weekend with the Hershey's Cup Series running their elimination race tomorrow to determine the Elite 8. And then they begin their road on the Elite 8 towards the Final 4, as next week we will see them at Michigan. The following week we will see them at Homestead, Miami, before all 3 series will come back for the Talladega race weekend. So till then, I'm Seth Cole signing off. Thanks for tuning in. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.